The fate landscape of sign language AI datasets, an interdisciplinary perspective. Sign language data is required to develop intelligent sign language technologies, for example, sign language dictionaries and digital personal assistants. Because this data comes from people and the resulting systems are used by people, this introduces fate concerns: fairness, accountability, transparency, and ethics. To better understand these fate concerns, we brought together an interdisciplinary team with direct experience working and living in this space. We identified 7 main categories of fate concerns: content, model performance, use cases, ownership, access, collection mechanism, and transparency and understanding.
The content of datasets varies in whether it's been video or motion capture, whether it was scripted, whether it was recorded in a lab or the real world, as well as the other labels that are attached to it. The choice of language and the choice of linguistic structures and vocabulary and demographics of signers included in the dataset will ultimately affect who would benefit from future applications. In addition, since facial expression is important in sign language, the face must be included. This opens privacy concerns for those who are included in the dataset.
Model performance depends on the complexity of the task, amount, and quality of training data. When training data excludes a specific minority, then the final system may not work well for those. The model choice also impacts model performance. Signs can be modeled in a purely data-driven way or incorporate linguistic knowledge. There's risk that data-driven approaches with insufficient input by sign language experts will lead to models that are incapable of recognizing the rich aspects of sign languages, like the use of space and depictions. It's worth noting that a sign language system consists of recognition, translation, and generation parts, and errors may propagate through that pipeline.
The use cases are, first, sign language recognition, for example, linguistic annotations, sign language learning, dictionaries, and signed human-computer interaction. Second, sign language animation, for example, keeping the identity of a signer confidential, or if you often modify signed content, such as in a wiki. Third, sign language translation, for example, adding captions automatically to sign language videos, or adding text to sign language videos for the deafblind. What is dataset ownership? The definition is unclear. Physical ownership is clear because it is a single unified concept. Is dataset ownership a single unified concept? No. There are 3 ownership options. I own the data, you own the data, or a third person owns the data. Who owns the complete dataset? There's a contradiction. Should deaf communities own sign language data? Who? Creators? Collectors? Builders? Companies? Who? Think about it. Many will want access to a sign language dataset. It's important to consider the ethics for those without strong ties and/or membership in deaf communities. Researchers, linguists, and deaf studies scholars may seek access. Private companies and nonprofit organizations might want access for building applications, and individuals for personal projects. Governments may be interested for supporting the development of accessibility services. It's important to consider the issues around compensation and privacy for those who contributed to the dataset.
Sign language data can be collected and annotated in many different ways. In the lab, you might have few signers, so signing might be uniform and not enough variability, and datasets would be small. Remotely, you could get more variation, larger datasets, but the video itself might be of not uniform quality. Annotations may need to be linguistically based, needing a high level of expertise. As a whole, collecting and annotating sign language data is not easy and cheap.
Transparency is highly valued in many deaf communities. Clear communication around dataset contents, ownership, access, profit, and use cases are important. Communicating in ways each stakeholder is accustomed to. For example, communicating about sign language topics in sign language can help encourage cooperative and respectful relationships. Thank you.